What's going on, everybody? Chris here with Hollywood Haunter, and today I'm going to share with you some footage we took for a project for Anime Expo 2018. They wanted us to build the interior of a train car for their cosplayers to take pictures in front of. And like a lot of other past projects, we always have good intention of filming the whole process and getting all the details so that we can share it with you. But then we start to run out of time and get stressed that we won't finish, and then we just start working and forget about filming. So let's check out what we got. So after looking at several different references of the interior of Japanese subway trains, we came up with the size we wanted to build. I believe this one was 9 by 20 by 9 foot, C-shape instead of the L-shaped backdrop that we've made in the past. And then we started construction, which is typically made of the Hollywood flats, which is the 1 by 3 pine framing with the 1/4 inch plywood, all glued and shot with a staple gun. We usually marked out the interior toggles on 2-foot centers, and we get all of the wood all marked, and then we go through and shoot everything together. I framed a few of the walls to have window openings on this particular scene because we decided to print vinyl graphics for the scenery as you look through the windows of the train, and this would allow us to just basically build some inserts that are the same size as the window openings, and then we just applied the vinyl graphic to that and installed them whenever we wanted to. A few of the things that we did to give this set a lot more dimension is we used 3/4 inch plywood and created pop-outs in certain spaces that acted as dummy access panels and places to put fire extinguishers. And then we also created little electrical boxes and conduit and buttons and things like that, just to, like I said, give that set just that much more dimension and make it feel more real. I also cut out any notches and then added any pressure blocks that were needed in some of the walls for the hardware that we were going to use to connect these walls together. I went to cut this little window out, and I drew out my lines so I wouldn't get messed up on the inside and outside. And then I set up my little circular saw here that you see right there, and I got down and I plunged it in, and I was on the outside line instead of the inside line because I was in a hurry. And look, I cut the wrong side, and then I stood back and I went, oh. I think I'm going to be okay because I'm going to go back in here with some framing behind it, and I'll just shoot it in, and then I'll fill this all in with Bondo, smooth it out and sand it, and then when the trim piece goes over it, it should cover it up so no one will ever know except for all of you guys. A lot of times when I take a little break and go to lunch, I come back and start working again, and I always make mistakes like this. It's so irritating, but always fixable usually. Don't just measure twice, cut once, but measure twice and then make sure you're on the right line. If Gina asks, I'll just say it's meant to be like this. It's like a ventilation thing for the door. Lets air go in there and pass through so the wall doesn't push over. That sounds like a pretty good story to hand her. Alright here, alright here. We cut some 1/4 inch plywood strips to act as aluminum flat stock to cover all of our access panels and wall seams, and then we also cut out little notches and installed cabinet hardware from the backside to give another level of detail. I'm in the process right now drilling the holes in the sides of these flats so that they can just bolt this together with some thumb screws. I normally drill all of the holes perfectly in the center, but because I set this door back a little ways, I actually had to offset the hole a little bit. So I needed to go back in and fix all my holes. I was bummed. I was like, oh man, I messed up. But then Gina's like, why don't you just make some plugs? And I was like, oh yeah, that's right. I have a little plug maker. Ooh, got myself a little piece of 1 by 3, made some plugs, put them in there, glued them up. Now we just have to wait for the glue to dry, and then I will re-drill where it needs to go. Bad Chris. Right? Wrong. Hate it when I have to do stuff twice. Skipping right along, we decided to create some bench seating so that you could get as many cosplayers in the photo op scene as possible. And then we also started welding all of our handrails, divider rails, and luggage racks, the bars that the Surikawa handles would be hanging from. Because this train car had no ceiling, we had to design the pipes to where they were like a C shape, and they would plug into the walls and to receivers that we also welded. I made sure all the welded pipe flanges were nice and straight so that when it slid into the holes in the wall, all the pieces locked in really tightly. For the dividers that go around the doors, instead of just having pipe that mounted to the top and bottom of it, I decided to weld it as one solid piece and then build the divider over it, and I think it came out a lot cleaner and stronger. This particular photo op ended up being quite a bit of work because there were so many pieces, and not only were we worried about trying to make it look as good as we could, we also had to make sure that everything was really sturdy and be able to withstand tons of people hanging off of it. I like working with metal, but this is taking a long time. I can't wait for this part to be over with, and I can get back into the wood and really fly through this project. Helps to have it grounded. Here's the metal work all finished and ready for paint. The cool thing is everything all locks together, slides inside of each other, again is held by 1/4" hardware, and it's really easy to put together. In fact, I actually can do it by myself by putting each rack on a ladder. I can run around the backside and put a wing nut on the bolt. We made this little prop digital sign that goes above the door out of MDF, and then we took some red plexiglass, drilled some holes like speakers, and then painted some screens underneath. And even though it didn't have power, it still gave the doorway a very realistic feel. We purchased this fire extinguisher to use as a prop in the train, but we decided to just cut out the image on the box and use that instead. I was looking forward to emptying that out in the backyard and making a fun video, but we could use it in other ways. Not only did we add pressure blocks for wherever we were going to be attaching objects to the front of the walls, we also wanted to create some access holes for our hands, so we just framed out some squares and then routed out the center. I welded up a few handles for people to hang on to, and then cut little tiny holes in the walls so that the handles could slide through, and then you could drop 2 bolts down to lock them into place. Once the walls were all finished being built, the back got a coat of flat black paint and the front got some semi-gloss white. Once the walls are painted, it's time to apply the vinyl graphics. Now, since real trains are just plastered with advertisements, it was a perfect opportunity for us to put some ads for some of the anime merch that was for sale at the convention. To make the installation process a little easier when applying these graphics, I always use blue tape to tape the top edge. Then I slowly peel the sticky back away and work my way down. I use a plastic putty knife with some loop Velcro with the adhesive back just stuck on the end of it, and then that way it keeps from scratching the graphic. I can work most of the air bubbles out by just going left to right and then down, but just in case I do get one air bubble that I can't get out, I'll just make a tiny little needle hole and then flatten it out. To give it a more finished look, we added a removable frame. That way they can always change out the advertisements in the future if they want. I added wood on the back of the wall so the screws wouldn't pop through. Once we had all the walls painted and all the aluminum trim painted, it was time to start installing some of the window graphics. Again, it was nice because we had these sleeves inside the wall, and then we had built the inserts to apply the graphics to, and we just grabbed each piece and put them in. We built the seats to break down into different sections, and the seat backs detached from the seat bottoms. Everything bolted to the walls, so everything was real secure. We also built several of these overhead prop light boxes for more advertisements. Gina painted color-coded Skittles on everything to make installation easier for everybody. You just match a piece up to the wall and bolt away. We really tried to make everything as easy as possible with the access panels, the labeling of the walls, the color coding of all the parts, having all the right hardware, wing nuts, just tried to make it as easy as possible for everybody to be able to put together, and also make it safe.
I'm filming you.
We didn't get a chance to film the process of building the surikawas, but they're basically just 5-inch steel rings. We bought some gray nylon strapping, and then I cut little pieces of 3/4 inch PVC and then drilled some holes through it and installed screws with nylock nuts. Gina had a really good idea of using biscuits for the keyhole plates on the access panel, so we just did a quick sand, drilled some holes, and they worked out perfectly. For the venting under the seats, we just put perforated metal on top of black painted plywood. We found some rubber traction mat, and then we glued it to some 3/4 plywood using some contact adhesive. We also found some rubber weather stripping for garage doors, and we cut that in half, and that's what we used for the double doors. Every project that Gina and I work on, we always have so many ideas that we never get a chance to do because we end up running out of time. But we always try to do the best we can with the time that we have. Well, that's going to do it for today. Be sure and leave us some feedback if you want down below. Don't forget to click like and subscribe and all that jazz. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.